You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what our newspapers have for us. But before then, my first guest is seated, so let me welcome him, and then I delve into the newspapers. Palgrave Boakye-Danquah, good morning.
Good morning.
You look, I told you this morning, you look exquisite.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very
do.
much. By the grace of
You should
God.
be in Parliament by now.
Well, the good people of Boakye North constituency have chosen my good friend to represent them in the 9th Parliament.
Don't worry, in the 10th
We live to fight another day.
In the 10th, you'll be there. I'm prophesying.
Thank you. I receive your prophecy.
Inshallah,
Thank you.
it will happen. Anyway, so like we said earlier, today's conversation is a continuation of yesterday's conversation. The power outages that are happening. Well, we've been told that Dumsor is not back, so it's nothing to do with Dumsor. However, there are maintenance works that are going on, and so you might experience some sort of power outage. Don't worry at all. You cannot term it as Dumsor. Let's hear from you this morning. Do you agree with what ECG is saying, that it's actually maintenance work, or it's more of finance? We heard the former Deputy Minister for Energy speak yesterday on Joy FM, and he said that it is not just about maintenance work. He's saying that the CEO for ECG, that is Mr. Mahama, is not telling the truth. There is more to these power outages than we think, and that he should own up and tell us exactly what is happening. He says there's finance issue, and of course, there is problem with generation. So finance, meaning that you cannot be able to provide to the people. Well, we'll talk about that when all our guests are seated. So let me quickly read what the newspapers have. But let's hear your voices this morning. You know, when your messages come in early, we are able to read all of them. So please send in your messages early. If you send it after 7, it's a big struggle for us. So send it now. Let's hear your voices. And I'll start off with the very first newspaper. That is the New Finder newspaper. The New Finder. That's the first newspaper I am going to read. Telecel Group unveils a brand in Ghana. And yesterday, there was a beautiful ceremony by Telecel. If you use Vodafone, now you realize that the messages that come on your phone is no more Vodafone, but rather Telecel. And yesterday, there were a few hitches with the network, and I'm thinking that it was because of the transition that happened. I am actually a member of Vodafone, now Telecel, so former Vodafone, now Telecel, and I experienced these challenges yesterday, so I know what I'm talking about. But now, it is good, it's smooth, so we are expecting to experience a better and quality service. Okay. Samia Uku elected African Lotteries Association Vice President. Congratulations to this man. He's actually doing so well. He's one of the most hardworking politicians I know, and so congratulations to him. School farms back government to support with partial grants, land development, seeds and fertilizer. I'm happy about this. I mean, back in the day, we used to do this. You know, in school, we used to have our farms. And also, when you're doing agric, it's one of the things that you do. You plant. That's where I learned irrigation from. I learned how to, farm a little bit. So I'm happy that the Gen Zs, these are the Gen Zs, the Gen Zs are actually going to do something. You know, so if one day you have your own house, you can plant something at your backyard. You know how to plant tomatoes, pepper, lettuce and all those things. So I'm excited. BDAC strengthens Ghana-India business relations. And that'll be all for the New Finder newspaper. The next newspaper I'm reading is the Ghanaian Publisher. The Ghanaian Publisher. IATC BDAC Ghana sign MOU. Will Baumia also pick a woman? Penyomakin, okay, so it's a question. And Penyomakin defends $449 million, one district, one factory tax waiver. The question comes in with 3 beautiful ladies at the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher. We are seeing Irina Toshi Adolate. We are seeing Madame Akosua Frema Oseo Pari. We are seeing Estla Owusu. I don't know. I think I'll ask Palgrave this. Palgrave, I've already introduced you, so I can ask this question. Do you think Dr. Baumia will pick a woman as a running mate?
Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia has always stated that every single day he gets a new running mate that is being suggested to him.
Yeah.
I'm very certain it's a very, very difficult conversation for him, which is why he asked for an extension from the National Executive Council to be able to look into who would be the best fit for him. I wish him the best in that decision.
We've been joined by Adel, Umar, Ibrahim, who is representing the NDC. Hi, Adel.
Hi, Roselyn.
How are you?
I'm good.
How do you greet this time for your season? Is it?
Oh, it's Ramadan Mubarak.
So it's
pretty much Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan
Mubarak. Okay,
Mubarak.
so Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you, Mubarak.
Okay, so I continue with the newspaper. That's the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Oda MP shows class at Vertin, proposes clinics in market centres, and CBG Lords Kasapreko for listing on GFIM. And that'll be all for the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The next newspaper is the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Ghanaian Times. In Kwanta communal conflicts, lay down arms, engage in dialogue. Oti Regional Minister designates appeals to feeding factions. Telecel brand officially launched in Ghana. NDC government will investigate land looting in Ga-Adangle area, and President opens Made in Africa Energy Technology Confab in Accra. That will be all for the Ghanaian side. Let me see if there's some sports. Since there's all African games going on, okay. Moyes dismisses claims over late arrival of equipment. It's not true, eh? Okay, we hear you. Why? No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it's not true. It's not true, eh?
Because everyone can see it.
There's an AstroTurf for, is it, what game? I forgot it. Yesterday I saw it. I think Gary Al-Smith posted it. And it's supposed to take place next week. The game is supposed to take place next week, and they are now building the AstroTurf. I think it's Tudor-Selco. Yeah, it's supposed to Tudor-Selco pitch or something. So it's a hockey pitch or something. They are now building it too. It came in just this week. Yeah. So there are no delays. Accra Lions aim to deepen Kotoko's woes as GPL enters week 21. I know the MPP, most of you are so not happy because you were expecting a quality, all African games, and it would have added to your credentials. Am I lying?
Rosie, you're on the newspaper.
The final newspaper is the Daily Guide newspaper. Telecel officially launches in Ghana. Election 2024. ECs shoots down NDC drone operations. And AG drops charges against Dr. Ademana in ambulance case. And also, Adel boss elected ALA vice president. Let's see if we have some entertainment stories in here. Yes, we do. I get death threats. This is coming from Wendy Sheick. Oh, my goodness. It's not easy to be a Wendy Sheick. YOLO star Drogba struggles with double vision, and he's actually calling on support. So please, if you can support Kiswe Biensa. Mr. Able to be buried in Enugu, and that will be all for the entertainment. Sports here. Dreams are drawn against State Malian. Okay. Justice Blade begs Kotoko fans as they host Lions today. Napoli boss faces fine for pushing cameraman, and Celta Vigo sack Benitez. But it's quite surprising that I'm not seeing any reportage on the All African Games. When we go to Daily Guide Sports, what's happening? We have some Ghanaians winning medals, so we should be talking about it. We've won medals. We've won medals in weightlifting, medals in swimming. Can we talk about it more, please? Let's encourage. And also, we heard that you can now go watch the games for free unless you want VIP. That could have been reported as well. So that Ghanaians will go. We need them in their numbers. So it's free now. It used to be 100 cities, but now it's free. So please, go in your numbers, especially the students. If you are not, if you don't have lectures or anything doing, please go. All right? Go. Let's go support our very own. I've already introduced my guests who are seated, and of course, we will have one join us, and he is joining us from the Movement of Change Party. But then let's hear your voices this morning. We know that ECG actually issued a statement on their page. Well, they say that if you want to have any sort of information, go on their Facebook pages there. Maybe you find it on other portals, but you find it here. There's an installation of distribution transformers within ECG operational areas. The ECG, that's limited, wishes to inform our cherished customers and general public that so far, 600 and 30 distribution transformers within communities across our operational areas have been identified to be full to capacity due to increased demand. This situation may result in blown fuses and broken conductors, causing outages, especially during the peak load period, that's 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the affected areas. However, we wish to assure our customers that transformer upgrading and new projects are ongoing to relieve these transformers to ensure a more reliable power supply. Customers within the underlisted communities localities are therefore advised to report any localized outage or voltage fluctuations to the ECG call center. And this is the call center number, just in case yesterday you didn't get it, 0302-611-611, or reach us on our social media handles via ECGGH Official. That is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for prompt rectification. We continue to seek the support and patience of affected customers as we support to improve our power distribution system. Help ECG serve you better. And this was the message they put out there yesterday. Did you experience power outage? For how long did you experience it? Let's hear your voice this morning. Do you actually agree that it's to do with maintenance work, or there is more to it? Looking at the PURC report and saying that, ECG has to pay some IPP some amount of money. However, they haven't been able to pay all that. And so there is a financial deficit somewhere. Would that also be the reason why we are facing these power outages? Well, my guests are seated. And so maybe I should start this conversation with Palgrave. You are finished writing. Adel is still writing his notes. Have you experienced power outage as well?
I haven't experienced power outage.
Yesterday you didn't experience it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, that's good then.
But let me greet your viewers this morning and send a word of commiseration to the Honorable Dr. John Kume's family. Mm-hmm. We have lost such a great gentleman. And to the government of Ghana, to the executive arm of government, to the Ministry of Finance, where he served as deputy minister, to the New Patriotic Party, where he was an MP for Ejiso. And we wish his family the best. We are aware that Parliament has sent a delegation to mourn with the family. Government as well has sent a delegation which was led by the flag bearer of the party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, together with the Chief of Staff and other government high-ranking officials to commiserate with them. We look forward to all the plans that they put in place for the 1 week, and I'm certain that government will continually support the process. For us as well, we mourn with him because he was a former student of the Nobel International Business School, where I serve as the alumni organizing secretary. And so we mourn with him as well. We'll miss his contribution in the academic environment. And we hope that God grants him eternal rest and good peace.
Amen. It's quite a difficult time. I don't think it's for just the NPP, but it's for all Ghanaians, because this is a very noble man, highly respected, had a lot of contribution towards our development. And so Ghana has lost a gem.
On ECG, one of the things that we need to state very clearly is that our government has been one of the governments that is able to communicate teething challenges and also address those challenges. We have seen in recent times that, yes, we have had some cash flow challenges and we've had some technical challenges, and these issues have been made bare to the Ghanaian people. My understanding is that the Ministry of Finance has already released funding to the IPPs, so we're not going to have the challenges that we're experiencing in terms of intermittent
That is the 200
power.
million?
Yes, okay. I don't know how much has been released, but I'm aware that some funding has been released towards that to the IPPs.
When did this happen?
I think sometime last week.
No, this conversation actually happened yesterday. And as of 2 days ago, as of 2 days ago, the Ministry of Finance had still not released 203 million Ghana cedis that they had to release.
I had my conversation with the Deputy Minister designate for Energy, and he said that the Ministry of Finance is working on releasing some funding.
Oh, so they are
That was
working on it,
yesterday,
so
yes.
they haven't released it yet.
So
Okay.
I'm certain that that funding is going to come
Right.
very strongly to them. And also to state that we have some transformers that need to be changed, and as a government, we're ensuring that when there is excess capacity and the demand is so strong on transformers and transformers get blown, we're able to replace those transformers. I think that's a sign of a good and effective government that is ensuring that we are solving the issues even before they happen. And we would appeal to Ghanaians that within the period where we have stated between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m., if you experience these power outages, it's primarily because government is working on these transformers for you. And also to state that it's important that people also pay for the utilities that they use. People owe ECG, people don't pay, people do illegal connections. Into their homes. It's important that people refrain from those acts, because then collectively it impacts all of us. And I think that it's important that people stay away from that. But sustained to say that I see that people are wanting to draw us back into the moments of Dumsor. But I want to state very categorical that we are not experiencing Dumsor. What we are experiencing is challenges, intermittent challenges. And I mean, Rosie, on your network now, you don't have a standby generator that you are using. You're on the national grid, which is clearly that we are not experiencing Dumsor. The industries,
we do have a standby generator.
Yes, but you are not using it.
No, we are not using it because our light is not off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I mean. So you're on the national grid. It means that we are not experiencing Dumsor, as people want to remind Ghanaians of those pain and
yesterday,
those
there was an interview granted on a sister station, and as the interview was ongoing, there was Dumsor.
I don't know which station that was.
It was TV3. No, TV3 didn't experience Dumsor.
I was on TV3.
TV3 didn't experience Dumsor.
Okay.
It was the guests.
The guest experience. Because I was on TV3.
Oh, you haven't seen the video?
No, I haven't. I was on TV3 yesterday morning.
I don't know if you are permitted to play the video on air today, but there's a video.
No, I haven't seen it, honestly.
Oh, really?
Because I was on TV3 yesterday morning with Roland and Edem Adbana, and then I went to Unia.
It wasn't a morning show, but I don't know if we are permitted to play.
TV3
Brenda, are we?
7, and then I did.
Let me ask Brenda, please, are we permitted to play the video? If we are, because it's on the platform, so if we are permitted to play the video, can we play it for people to see, so that people will understand, the kind of conversation we are having? Are we permitted to play it? Okay, all right. So I'll tag so that we'll find a video. Yeah, please continue with your submission.
I don't think that we are experiencing Dumsor, and I think that the Ghanaian people are aware of the Dumsor that they had in the days of the then John Dramani Mahama from 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015, and some part of 2016. I don't want us to remind Ghanaians of the pain, because people lost their lives, people lost their businesses, there was a total recession in the private sector, people relocated out of this country because the business environment was not striving. We don't want to remind Ghanaians of their plight. Ghanaians have voted a new patriotic party into governance and an opportunity to ensure that the system is working. And so Ghanaians are encouraged and pleased with the fact that we have kept the lights on consistently from 2017. For the past 7 years, we've kept the lights on. Ghanaians are also pleased that we are managing the IPPs. Ghanaians are extremely also pleased that we are ensuring that every single thing that we need to do to make sure that their lights are on, we've done that. I mean, we've paid money to all the IPPs in recent times. You recall?
No, the IPPs are being owed.
Okay, we've paid money to make sure.
Some money,
yes,
but
we've
not
paid
all
some
amount of money.
Yes, not all amount of money.
ECG was supposed to pay these IPPs $43 million US. They've, however, released only 10 million, and for 6 IPPs, they paid only 4 IPPs.
I agree with that. But I mean, we've kept the lights on consistently, and I think that succinct to say that I don't want anyone to take us back into the days of Dumsor, because I mean, the president has promised that we are not going to go to those dark days. And I think that we are enjoying the impact of the good leadership the President Adel Danquah is churning out. We have not, these are just intermittent challenges, and they'll be resolved very soon.
Okay, so Palgrave is saying they are intermittent challenges, but you asked the question, if these are intermittent challenges, how do we wait for 630 transformers to be either faulty or to be overloaded before we go have maintenance works on them? You could have actually done when it was 100, you could have done it when it was 50, so why wait till 630 and then Ghana has to experience some power outages? Adel, Dumsor is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, they say that a lot. Over the past few weeks, everybody's feeling it. Whether you like it or not, you wake up.
Palgrave says he didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'd say that Palgrave, you live around the Amasaman area, right?
Hey, you want to expose where you on national television. I live at Sawam.
Sawam.
Yes. The air is better there.
Roselyn, look, there's a reason why we have what is called insurance. You have a vehicle. He has a vehicle. I drive a vehicle. So they say insure your vehicle. And when you insure the vehicle, as and when you get into trouble, you can basically get some form of support. People insure their homes, people insure their businesses, Ibrahim insured, just in case you have a problem. Every time I have an opportunity to discuss the issue of Dumsor, it is one thing that, gets to me, because it looks as if this government has not learned anything. And that is a worry for me. Before we left power, and we've discussed this over and over.
You have to keep on discussing it.
Over and over. 2013, there was a report. We needed to solve 3 problems. And I've indicated this on countless occasions. We needed to solve the issue of capacity. We needed to solve the issue of, funding. We also needed to solve the issue of oil, gas, pretty much, to assist us, in empowering our plants. When Dumsor hit us in 2013, thereabout, it got really messy. And I keep telling people that you can't basically compare what Ghana had to go through during Dumsor to what Ghana had to go through, during COVID. First of all, in Dumsor, no one gave us a PESWA. Under COVID, you received in excesses of 30 billion, of which you've used 12, and then said you had 18 billion excess for budget support. No one gave us money for Dumsor. Again, when there is no electricity, nothing works. Nothing works. COVID, you succeeded in managing COVID the way you managed it because you had electricity. At least it was flowing. So when someone is on the hospital bed and then he's on oxygen, he doesn't have to worry about electricity going off and then he getting, cut off oxygen. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about which hospital do I have to go and put them there. The hospitals are running, and all of that. So you can imagine the extent to which Dumsor, COVID, would have worried the people of Ghana, assuming we didn't have electricity. Then you come and think about businesses. Joy Prime would not have, the cost of business would go extremely high. You may probably have to cut off a few workers here and there. That was what happened during the time of Dumsor. But then we gave you insurances. That is what John Dramani Mahama did. He gave you insurance. He bought you the Ameri. He bought you the car power to solve the issues of capacity. Of which you came, you made a lot of noise, but you came and you extended it. He moved from there. He said, look, let's not stop there. Let's see how we can expand the oil sector. So we expanded the oil sector, and then we gave you what you call the Atuabo gas pipeline. Why? So it can give you gas. Because of that, we had to change some of the plants that we had from using diesel to start now using gas, so that you have Atuabo to, supply you gas. The issue of funding, then we gave you what you call ESLA. There was a reason for ESLA. At the time, the money we owed was around 2-point-something billion, thereabout. We said, look, we're giving you ESLA. ESLA is a form of insurance. It's a sum of fund. What it does is that it collects the money, and then the monies that you owe. So I'll give you a typical example. You owe 1,000 Ghana cedis. The money continues to accrue because on a monthly basis, you're supposed to pay. So while you're owing 1,000 Ghana cedis, we say, we're going to set up a fund for you. That fund is going to accumulate, say, 100 Ghana cedis a month. So we know that within 10 months, we'll be able to clear that 1,000 Ghana cedis. However, while we're clearing that 1,000 Ghana cedis, you know that from the month that preceded, after the fund was set up, you know that you're going to continue to receive monies and then you can continue to pay. So while the fund is raising all these funds, you use that to pay. We calculated that within 3 years, we should be done paying our legacy debt. You came to power, you said, no, you want to do something different. You want to collateralize the fund, take the money in one big bulk, and then solve the problem.
All right. On that note, you know I promised you a video that we will air it definitely because it actually happened on TV3. So credit to TV3 for this particular video. An interview was being granted and there was Dumsor. Take a look.
Nation of some of the things some of us have been consistently talking about, that sports administration.
Wow. Jerome, your lights are off? Hello? Oh, wow. Okay. Jerome Otre's lights just went off. Yeah, Jerome is the former editor of Kotoko Express. I mean, pretty interesting. Anyway, this is Ghana Tonight. We'll be back shortly after this quick break. Stay with us. Oh, well.
Okay, so this is the video that we promised to air for you to see. So, Palgrave, you've seen the video now.
Well, Rosie, you see, I have seen the video. I can't confirm what happened.
But it was
there.
Dumsor.
Well, we can't tell.
Oh,
no, Rosie.
You can't tell what you saw. Okay.
No, Rosie, we can't tell.
I understand.
I mean, a man was having an interview.
And then the light just went off.
We don't know if someone turned off the light in the room. We can't tell. I mean, I think that, you see, for me, I can appreciate that, yes, it's not Dumsor. I've said that we're having intermittent challenges with our power. Now, in having intermittent challenges with our power, there are people who would experience these things. We must not celebrate with the challenges that we are having as a country.
Oh, I don't think we are celebrating.
Yes.
I think we are trying to get a solution.
We're getting a good solution. But in getting a solution, let's not remind Ghanaians of the pain they went through with Dumsor. People don't even want to hear the word Dumsor anymore. Because the word Dumsor reminds them of their pain, reminds them of how they lost their funds. I mean, I told you how the private industry and the private sector went into deep recession because of Dumsor under the NDC government. We don't want to remind Ghanaians of that. People lost their lives as a result of Dumsor. We don't want to remind Ghanaians of that. People relocated out of this country as a result of Dumsor. We don't want to remind Ghanaians of that. So let's not be using the word Dumsor.
But we should use power outage.
Power outage. Intermittent
so
power
whichever
outage.
it is, if you experience light off, it is power outage, it's not Dumsor.
It's
so
not
the
Dumsor.
name has changed.
No, you see, because you recall when Professor PLO Lulumba came, he spoke about Dumsor and Dumsor and Dumsor and how Dumsor had now become a global name and is being considered to be in the British Oxford Dictionary and all of that. We don't want Ghanaians to be reminded of that. Ours is an intermittent power challenges, and it's temporarily. We will solve these issues within the shortest possible time. Inshallah. So I don't think that what happened is Dumsor, and let's not use the word Dumsor.
All right, Adel, you're on the floor. But before then, let me actually welcome our third guest, which I promised that he'll be joining us. You know, you've been calling on the smaller organization or parties to join us. I don't know if I should term them as a party because they told us they are not a party. Movement for Change. And so I have Courage Nobi joining us this morning. Good morning, Courage.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you today?
I'm very well, by God's
grace. Great. You didn't know our time, eh? So our time is 6 on the dot. Too.
Yeah, it's. I think you are the early bird in the morning show. Yeah. But I mean, it's a relief for us to be on the show finally. You know, we've been doing a lot. The movement has taken off. The butterfly has flown and continues to fly till December 7th. And so the butterfly is very glad that this morning it's landed in the studios and we'll be coming often.
Great.
We'll landing here often. And it's good to see my good brothers, Palgrave and Adel. we meet on other platforms. Palgrave until September we were together.
Okay.
But he should be repenting rather than giving us new vocabulary for the old phenomenon.
Let's see what will happen though. Adel, you were on the floor, so sorry I had to cut you. But
it's fine. Anyway. So we gave you ESLA. We knew that within 3 years it's going to take care of the problem. Then you said no. You would want to collateralize it because of the time value of money. You want to collateralize it, take the money now, and then clear the debts. Do you know they collateralized and they didn't pay the debts? So you see, you do these kind of things, and then it creates problems. Now, then you have ECG coming to tell you that, oh, it's the issue of transformers. Look, the Quran has a verse that always touches me. It says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, qulu qawlan sadidan, yuslih lakum a'malakum wa yaghfir lakum dhunubakum.
By the time I'm done with Adel, I'll know how to speak Arabic. Every week you come with an Arabic.
Qulu qawlan sadidan. Speak words that are truthful, that are straightforward, upright, straight. Just say it like that. In exchange for you doing that, I'll give you 2 benefits. One, I'll make things easy for you. And let me take you back. When we had Dumsor, all we had to do was tell the people of Ghana. Imagine if we kept dribbling them, telling them, oh, it's Dumsor, it's not Dumsor. In any case, they coined the word Dumsor. Now they're running away from it. You coined it, and you give it to us. You say, oh, Dumsor, and then now theirs is, I don't know. At the point in time, it was like Dumkra, like
Dum.
It doesn't really make any sense. So we gave you all of that. That is what you call insurance. And for you to have come into government to receive, for example, the GIF, the sinking fund, the heritage fund, the stabilization fund, we gave you ESLA, we gave you all of these things until to an extent that we even gave you GIFMES, which is supposed to help you in how you do your expenditure and all of that, which you decided to do out of that. We gave you all this insurance. Imagine if the NDC had this during our time, then we wouldn't have to experience what we're experiencing. But in any case, go to ECG.
But when we look at the 2 eras, we are looking at your era where, the shortage was way more. You spoke about financial problems. That was a huge challenge, and it was said by President John Dramani Mahama as of that time. There was no water in the dam and all of that. But currently, it's different. They are telling us that there's more of maintenance work. So you're looking at 630, transformers that are, are loaded, overloaded. And we are also looking at, about some monies that can be paid if only finance ministry will release 203 million Ghana cedis to these companies or to ECG, so ECG can offset the debt that they owe. Right. So it's something that can be possible, but for yours it was bigger than this.
Roselyn, first of all, let's deal with the issue of ECG. Transformers don't get overloaded overnight. When you have a new neighborhood, say Amasaman is expanding, right? Consistently, when you have transformers, so while people start building and the place is opening up and all of that, then ECG automatically, so transformers get overloaded over time. It doesn't get overloaded overnight. That's one thing you have to understand. But in any case, even if we say we want to accept that their transformers all got overloaded overnight, that is again an indictment. Because what it means is that you're sitting down, just like what we discussed here on the dam spillage. They're sitting down. You can see, because if it's overloading, you know. you know. So if it's overloading and you know that this is the capacity within the Amasaman enclave, this is the capacity within the Abekat enclave, and you know that the capacity, because you keep giving out meters, and you know the capacity is increasing, and you can feel, and you go there once every now and then to go and fix a transformer, if it got bent, you know. How do you sit down till now you have about 500 transformers? 630. 630 transformers all messed up. Either way, it's an indictment. But we're saying that is not the case because transformers do not get overloaded, overnight. The second thing is that ECG, this 7 to 11 p.m., it's a time schedule. They're basically just telling you, look, we're giving you, just have in mind that between 7 to 10 p.m. or 7 to 11 p.m. every night, there's a chance that your lights may go off because of the transformer. ECG does not do maintenance at night. they do their maintenances
But
during the day.
are you not the ones who are pushing for 24-hour economy? Probably they've decided to do
No, so we are talking. No, if that is what is happening, they should perhaps tell us.
That's what they are saying. They are telling us that 7 to 11 p.m. they are doing maintenance work. You are telling us that they don't do it like that. This is their new schedule.
Okay, very good. So they're doing maintenance.
Yes.
From 7 p.m.
to 11 p.m.
11 p.m.
Yes.
That is the second thing they're telling us.
Yes.
Fine. Let's take it like that. The third thing is that, again, the issue of, how do you call it? What do you call it? So the transformers, I indicate the transformers, which is the first one. The fact that it doesn't get overloaded, it does that over time. The second thing is about the issue of the maintenance, if you want to do it. During our time, let me tell you what we did. So because of the issues that we were facing, we had to now sit down and have a conversation with ECG and tell them, look, this neighborhood is going to go off within this time to that time. So when they go off, go and do whatever maintenance you have to do. Because you don't want a situation where they are off and then around the time when they're expecting light, you now go and say you want to do maintenance, and by the time you realize it goes continuously for 6 days and they don't have light. So it's an issue of planning. That is the second thing. The third thing, which is critical to all this conversation we're having, is that the Electricity Company of Ghana has received 820 million in January. Ghana cedis in January. Out of this 820 million, they have made payments of 120 million, which is the category A, and then they've made a payment of 162 million to category B. As we speak, 512 million or 540 million has not been accounted for. Now, question we're asking is that, how do you get electricity? ECG gets money, they pay the IPPs, they pay Greco, they pay the people they're supposed to pay. Those people take monies, they go and buy fuel, they pay for their fuel, they pay for their diesel, they use them for production. If you don't pay them, how do they do production?
But Mr. Muhammad did say that they had to take out some money to go buy electricity, and they asked or they seek the permission from Finance Ministry, which, they bought fuel, and they seek permission from Finance Ministry, which Finance Ministry actually did say they will give them the money, they'll reimburse them, and they haven't done it yet.
So listen, I'm saying that you have received, if you take from August.
If they receive this money, they'll be able to pay these
From August, I'm coming. From August last year, all the way to this point as we're speaking, government is supposed to make a payment of 200 million Ghana cedis on a monthly basis to take care of, government agencies and ministries and all of that. 200 million Ghana cedis every month. Between August last year up until this point, that money has not gone over $1 billion. It hasn't gone. You're piling up. You see what I'm saying? Again, if you say that, okay, they give them the permission to do that, who is supposed to pay the money? Who's supposed to pay the money? Who? Government. So if you have to pay the money and you're not paying the money, and for that matter, they are struggling to do the things that they're supposed to do, obviously, it is an issue that you're taking us back to doing so. And I'm saying that, but for this report, which is a cash water report that came out, we didn't know. Nobody knew. Nobody was told.
But the cash water report is due to IMF, though.
Yes, it's due to IMF. And that is because IMF has indicated that, look, we don't want you piling up again. Don't pile up. Whatever the situation is, make sure that whatever monies are being accrued are being paid to the people that are supposed to be paid. So IMF is insistent on this because at the end of the day, if you don't do this, what would happen is that IMF would insist that you add this to your debt. And when you add this to your debt,
we go back to debt exchange program.
To debt exchange program. And then you get to that point where you cannot pay your debt. You move again to your debt to GDP reaches a stage where it can't. Then you are downgraded again, and then now you have to deal with all these issues.
All right.
Don't do that.
Let me bring Courage into the conversation. Courage, we are talking about, the power. You said it's called what? Intermittent. I need that word. It's very important.
Challenges.
I will not use the word Dumsor. Yes, intermittent power outage that we are experiencing. And, when you go on ECG's Facebook, if you type in ECG, you get Electoral Commission Ghana. So don't do ECG, but rather do Electricity Company. So when you go onto their page, you see, a statement where they are saying that we have some issues with 630 transformers, and we are trying to fix it. Of course, you experience a bit of intermittent power outage between the hours of 7 to 11. We heard from Mr. Muhammad say that, the outages that we are going through is not about finance, but rather it's about the maintenance works. And people feel that, okay, maybe it is, maybe it's not. And so we have diverse opinions. But for you, from Movement of Change, what's your take on it before I ask you other questions?
Thank you very much, Roselyn, again. And let me greet the PLS Alan Kojo Chematin this morning. If you remember, Monday he was in the Volta region to speak to market women and traders who, in the midst of Dumsor, Dumsor, Dumtrechiremu, intermittent power outages, continue to sacrifice to make sure that at least when we get to the market, we get something to take home to sustain ourselves. What you just described continues to drum home the point that since 92 till today, we've not had any difference in governance. We've not had any difference in leadership. The nation has been hijacked by two forces, which are like Siamese twins. They have the same character. Maybe there's some minor differences, if at all. At the bigger scale, they continue to remain the same. They sing one tune when in opposition, and when handed the reins of power, they sing another tune. It's about excuses, and bastardizing when they are in opposition. That is what we have seen for about 30 years, that these two parties have controlled governance in this country. What that has done is to erode public confidence in leadership, because there's no candor, there's no integrity, there's no honesty in public service. And so when you have a challenge like we have on our hands now, when you expect that a government will be humble enough to admit they did not do something right, you have, after almost 7.5 years of taking power, continue to blame the opposition, the then government, for what it is suffering today. You went on the streets, campaigned on the note that these guys are not good enough. Give us power and we'll do better. You come and do the exact same things. And
Which one is the exact same thing?
I'm surprised to hear about things like transformer overload. We heard that in 2015, 2016. We've been told that it's because there are too many high-rise...
We didn't hear that. We heard it from your party. Then you were part of that party.
No. We heard that from the government of the day at the time.
And you also...
At a point, they even said that, there are too many high-rise buildings in Accra now, and that's why there's this pressure on transformers, so they're overloaded. At a point, it was even about our smartphones that were charging and that it was taking too much energy. So if you come and tell us today that there's transformer overload after 7 years, you are not telling us something new. You already knew that. If not for ineptitude, you will not be telling us that, because you knew it, you sat down, did nothing, and you are now coming to throw back the same thing to us. Is it a case that someone was not honest, even in opposition, and now is caught up with them? And if that is the case, what do you have to do? Come to the Ghanaian people and say, you know what, A, B, C, and D, I'm sorry, I knew I could have done better. I haven't been able to do that. But it's so that people can even empathize with you. But if you come and you're not giving us new vocabulary to describe old phenomenon, you've done nothing. You've changed nothing. And for me, that is a disappointing bit about public service, public leadership that we are enjoying from these two major parties. And the Ghanaian people do not have an appetite for the same old strategies and tricks any longer. And so Ghanaians are looking for some leadership, a leadership that at least will be honest with them. And it is not just with power. Almost every sector, is it cocoa board? Same. Is it roads? Every sector, you continue to have this same duplicitous character, in government. And it doesn't help anybody. I get worried because...
So you're trying to say that the movement for change actually is not going to be the same. That's what you're saying. Because it looks like that's what you're telling us. In the year 2015, in the year 2016, you were on the campaign ground.
Of course,
with the
I was. I was.
And the song that they sang, you sang it with them.
Because I believed them. I believed that President Akufo-Addo and his Vice President, Economic Messiah, Economic Westgate, could do something differently. I believe so. But if I'm with a movement for change today, it is because I'm a repentant soul.
Okay.
It turned out to be a pure sham. And so it is expected of me that I'll move on, to reflect the fact that I've repented. That's what I'm saying, that Palgrave should be repenting, But if I came here to probably come and say, and try and justify what I was on the streets to demonstrate against, a few years back, then it tells you something about my character. But we cannot pigeonhole ourselves into this duopoly, that continues to deliver less and less of what we desire, and even less and less of what they promise. That's a hard part. You have a management problem. You have a leadership crisis. That is what we have, whether it is NDC or NPP. And there is a crisis of character in leadership. That is what it is. So ordinary people will suffer for it. Businesses will continue to collapse. Jobs will be lost. People will have their drains and stuff at home, food go bad and all, on the back of such mischaracter in leadership.
For now, jobs have not been lost yet, but is it that, Palgrave, probably we are gearing...
Jobs have been lost.
Oh, really?
One of the most...
Out of the intermittent power outage?
Not just that. A myriad of factors, including that.
But the power outage
and
is
even
what
the high cost,
today.
the high cost of power.
Okay, but
even the high cost of power. So
the issue here on the floor happens to be the intermittent power outage.
And Dumsor, you mean? We will not accept that.
Every era. If you want to call it Dumsor, that's
intermittent
different.
Power outage has been with us. That descriptor has always been there. In 2016, we gave it a new name because of the degree of what we were experiencing.
Are we there yet?
Oh, we are there. When we are beginning to see the same excuses of 2015-20, where are we? It's the same set of excuses. Transformer overload. They said, it was a power.
The dam is not dry.
The dam is not. The dam doesn't have to be dry. It can be. In fact, we have even spillage because of overrun. But if Sunon Asobli does not receive payments and they shut down, you are in Dumsor.
Yeah.
So it's still a money problem. It's always been a money problem. It's not a generation capacity problem. And again, together with Palgrave, we said this in 2016, that the capacity is there. It's a money problem. So if today we are still having Dumsor, it's a money problem. The explanation then by the government was that, it is transformer overload. 7 years down the line, we have been told transformer overload. Where's the difference? Where's the difference?
Well, Courage says, where's the difference? It's transformer overload. Gridco, I think it would be good to have Gridco say something to us. I think so. Because if Gridco tells us that this is the main issue on the ground, then we can actually say it is so, because it looks like there's a bit of diddle-daddle here. However, we are hearing that about 99 hospitals might experience power outage complete. Because they owe over 230 million Ghana cedis. And so, yes. And so ECG is actually threatening. It's not even a threat. They've given them a deadline. And so if they don't pay these monies, they are going off. Well, when they were questioned about if they don't have any issues with regards to lives could be lost because there's the ICU unit and all of that, they said they will not go off in those units. However, maybe the administration, I don't know if emergency is part of it, but if your life goes off at the hospital, your life is gone. 91 hospitals, and we are looking at hospitals like Konfanoche, we are looking at hospitals like Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge Hospital, a major hospital, 37 military hospital. They are all owing ECG. All of them. Ministry of Finance actually did say that they have had some sort of negotiation with ECG. And so they are surprised that ECG is coming out to say they've given them a deadline. So what is going on? Let me see if I have some comments and I can read some of the comments, my messages. Of course, my viewers are very important. Back, right? Definitely, we'll come back. This is our topic. So today is all about ECG. So let me see what I have here. Okay, some messages that have come in. Hey, yesterday's message is there. Wow. All right. So, today too. Okay, let's see. Our messages started from 6:30. As of 6:20, the messages are okay. My first message came at 6:13. So let me read that one first. All right, so this is it. So this one says, Be Bold and reject NPP 2024 elections. Never again for NPP government. Choose JDM from Ablade, Ifia Kumazongo Takrade. Good morning to the journalists. In fact, Nana Baumia and the ministers don't know anything about outreach. Ever since the current Minister of Gender took possession, he or she has not organized an outreach. Right, so I'm trying to get the messages. I don't know what is happening on the screen. Okay, it's back. Good. Disabilities are going through hardship. And number 2, if Nanado cannot do free SHS, he should tell us the kind of food the students have been eating is nothing to write home about. I challenge all journalists should visit senior high schools and see what is happening in the schools. ECG is giving us a problem in Ghana. The CEO needs to be sacked. Abochi Philip from Qatar. Good morning, Joy Prime. Watching from Kumasi. Yesterday, we experienced power outages from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. It wasn't nice at all, but you were told. You said they should tell you. Now they're telling you, you're saying it wasn't nice. Good morning, host. This morning, again, lights in Memphis, 5:30 a.m. Oh, that one day. Because we're told 7 to 11. So, Memphis, how come you experience a light up? Dumsor, we are going to miss your show again yesterday and today. Oh, don't miss it from Moses. You see the lies about MPP propaganda in 2016 about Dumsor. Yvonne should out again. Okay, Yvonne should come out again. Good morning to you. To overcome the destructive influence of tribalism and political division, individuals must prioritize the values of unity, empathy, and understanding by recognizing our common humanity and seeking to bridge the gap between different ideological perspectives. We can build a more inclusive and compassionate society. It is only through collective effort and mutual respect that we can overcome the divisive forces that threaten to tear us apart. Aaron Bebakoko Misa. Good morning, madam, and your guests. I believe ECG doesn't understand the meaning of Dumsor. Our problem here in Ghana is about hypocrisy. Where are the so-called celebrities who organized the Dumsor demonstration when John Mahama was in power? Posterity, is actually judging Ghanaians. My regards to incoming MP for Myong Alaji, Miss Bao Sumani Hamza. Good morning, Roselyn and Honorable Kobi. There is no Dumsor in Ghana currently, but load shedding resulting from the maintenance of ECG transformers and West African pipeline. Our electricity will be stable soon. Amen. We hope so. Cold store owners have not closed their stores as compared to when we had Dumsor under JM. I totally agree with what majority leader said. JM has only 4 years to rule Ghana when given the mandate for which it is not possible, especially under the vice of Professor Jane, who failed as education minister, who advised JM to cancel teacher and nursing training allowances. Basic schools were in shortage of chalk. Teachers were given only 3 months' salaries after teaching for 3 years. Both JM and Prof Jane have no better plans for this country. Baumia is the next president of Ghana. Richard Presby Quarters, Accra. All right, so this one says, good morning, Rosie and your panelists. Please ask Palgrave which serious government will sit aloof for almost more than 600 transformers to break down before replacement and servicing. Also yesterday, right. In fact, this NATO MPP government has simply a bunch of failures from Nana Baumia to the cleaner at their headquarters. Rosie, please, have you seen how Palgrave and his people are hypocrites? Tell him that factories like Nivea and the rest have now relocated to Ivory Coast and stuff. But we ain't in Dumsor, but high taxation and mismanagement of the economy, and it's not Palgrave. It's Palgrave. You have a new name, Palgrave. Anyway, it's very, very unfortunate that any nice and intelligent gentleman or lady that joins this current NPP government mysteriously becomes a gross liar. NPP Debbie. No wonder review literally means cancellation. Atiebi, UK1 Atiebi, okay. Good morning, Rose. I'm worried about our democracy. Look, I have been around since the acceptance of 1992 Constitution. We are still wallowing in the past problems of Dumsor, water shedding, and as we speak for weeks now, no water in most parts in Accra and other parts of Ghana, yet zero. Yet politicians are still paying lip service to us in the name of scoring political points in this heat. Why do we wake up every morning to garnish our problems as a country on TV while many are dying in these social issues? Where is our love for humanity and country? Oh my God. Nana Kwesi Odame Enyinem. Madam Host, I don't know why it's so difficult for Palgrave and his NPP to speak the truth. Whether we experience it Dumsor or Dumsor, 2024 December 7th will tell. When your mother dies and you say she's asleep, remember, you are going to eat in the evening. Max from home. Okay, it's now clear that this government think we are fools. The dishonesty is too much. Yesterday, the light went off 16 times in my area. Oh, wow. Nothing can stop us from voting this government out so that they will learn their lessons and come back 8 years later. Inusa from Tamale. Roselyn, good morning, and good morning to your guests. Please tell the NPP government and its communicators that to credit Ghanaians with some certain level of respect. Why should NPP tell us that our current power crisis isn't Dumsor? That condescending attitude towards the ordinary Ghanaians is disrespectful and wouldn't be entertained going forward. Roselyn, please ask Palgrave to tell Ghanaians their engineering management theory that states that when transformers are overloaded within an enclave, the whole town or country has to suffer a power crisis. Granted, their explanation makes sense. Ask him to tell us the percentage of ECG, the overloaded transformers as against those that aren't overloaded. Again, ECG has come to tell us that they have 630 overloaded transformers within their operational areas, which represent about 2.7% of their total distribution transformers. Ask Palgrave to explain to us if ECG's 630 overloaded transformers are also located within the 3 northern regions and the Brong-Ahafo region, who are equally experiencing Dumsor. Ajia Fati Kumewu Moshizongo. Palgrave, I think we have to employ you in ECG because it looks like the questions... today, Palgrave is working with ECG. Current score Zakaria Sinyani says, and now people are teasing Baumia that bring out your policy. As for the next president, Mahama, he is gone with 25 economy to cancel e-levy, remove Article 71 holder, cancel betting tax, prosecute all MPP corrupt people. As for Baumia, he has no message or digitalization. Bahama builds Accra Digital Center. That is the data information storage. Baumia, where is your digital info stored? And like Accra Digital Center, having 800 kilometers fiber optic cables, don't venture Mahama. He will flog you. Greetings, Alhaji Al-Hassan Mayanka, Regional Communications Officer for Charles Akowa. All right. All right, so today it is clear that proper governance is not about sloganeering and economic theories. Ghana's economy is on its knees under the watch of the so-called economic giants. Employment under this government is only given to party faithfuls, leaving the rest of the Ghanaian youth to their fate. Today, we are battling with Dumsor but they have, in their usual attitude, refused to accept their failure. It is really sad. Kindly ask Mr. Palgrave to tell us the difference between Dumsor and intermittent power outages. I think he explained it all. Palgrave, when I come back to you, maybe they want more explanation. NPP now wants Ghanaians to believe that intermittent power supply in their mismanagement and super incompetent regime is not Dumsor, but the same thing during another's regime is Dumsor. How dishonorables could be. What they are simply doing now is playing mind games with the electorates. Their own nemesis will soon catch up with them. As for the baby elephant, that is Movement for Change. It's a shameless party. You knew NPP was not good, yet you served under it for many years and even contested parliamentary primaries. Having lost the primaries, you now wear masks to tell Ghanaians you are different. This is it DDS Matt Co. This has come for you. Courage. You are watching, pa. Alaji Hamza Pickpop says, good morning, Roselyn. Please, I simply want to find out from the communicators of NPP whether Dumsor was created by President Mahama. Under President Rawlings, President Kufuor, there were Dumsor. Under President Kufuor, pastors were sent to Akosombo Dam to pray for rains to fall. President Mahama came to meet Dumsor and he took responsibility as a leader and solved the problem. But today we have a leader who does not want to take responsibility, but rather demonstrating a lot of arrogance towards Ghanaians. We are where we are where we are today simply because of arrogant postures of functionaries of this government. They always feel they know it all, but know nothing. The future of this country under this wicked, super incompetent government is pregnant and hopeless. Good morning, Roselyn. The MPP man is taking us today to a different level. Every Ghanaian knows that if you switch off, it is to doom. If you switch it back on, it is so. The TV3 incident was attributed by TV3 to power outage. I saw TV3 call it so, yet NPP wants to say it was not. We have seen power going off at a stadium and also the athletics competition. At least MPP should not be so open about our intelligence. Okay. Hey, the messages are a lot. Okay, so I have just 2 to go. Good day, Roselyn. Please invite more neutral and objective people to neutralize the dishonest and petty politics of the 2 major parties, characterized by senseless, acrimonious banters and propaganda that do not add any value to your show. Pa Willie, a citizen, not a spectator. We used to have Dumsor with a timetable under NDC, but under NPP is now Dumkra without a timetable. Indeed, you can do any propaganda with the electricity, but Dumsor will expose you at the African Games, SONA and Parliament when people were trapped in the elevators at the Job 600 building. MPP never again, because Ghanaians will not make another fatal mistake to vote such a useless regime. Good morning, Joy Prime. Joy TV, Sami from, is it Bolga? Zarungu. Okay, yesterday we were watching football game and our light went out. We couldn't enjoy the game. Sorry, okay, Sami. Okay, we are talking about you, Dumsor, you're talking about anti-LGBT. Let me go to the next one. This is your anti-LGBT there. My producer even beats me if I read it. This is very long. Wow. Please, we beg you, try and try and make your messages a little bit, okay, let me see. Hey, somebody says, okay, Sami Boachi Asamanka says, Madam Host, stop comparing MPP to NDC because power outages is more different from Dumsor. And take what Palgrave told you. We are currently in power maintenance, not like Dumsor days. We have it 1 week blackout. There is no Dumsor. Yeah, okay, if you say so. Regards to Dr. Baumia, the next president, Honorable Charles Champo, the MP for Asamanka said, and Honorable Frank Asiedu Bekoy, a.k.a. Protozoa, the next MP for Suhum. Please, when you send your messages, please keep it very short for us so that we can read the messages. 91 hospitals face power outage very soon. They are owing ECG over 200 million Ghana cedis. And the ECG says you pay or you go off. Lives will be lost if this happens. And so we are asking the question, is it financial challenge or it is maintenance issue? Because why will you turn off hospital lights when you know it is not money, but it is rather maintenance?
Roselyn, thank you very much. I have been on a campaign to encourage consumers to pay their utility bills. How is it that you consume electricity and you don't want to pay for the electricity that you consume? How is it that we have people who use electricity and they don't pay? How is it that ECG now has to go after institutions, after hospitals? Because when we go to the hospital, we pay for the hospital. We pay for our involvement with the consultation, for x-ray, we pay for everything. And so how is it that when you go to the hospitals and
I don't know if your sound is on because I think something fell. I don't know if is the battery still in there? If the battery is not in there, we can fix it for you. So we'll get your sound fixed so I can move to Adel. So as we fix your sound, please, I beg you. So please fix the sound for him. Thank you.
Roselyn, so anytime I get, this conversation about NDC, MPP being the same and the kind of conversations that we have, it really gets to me. This is the month of Ramadan, and, you try as much as possible to be calm, but this requires an answer. How do you compare a government that comes to meet electricity at 50.6%, 60.5% as at 2008, 2009, when the NDC took over government? When we took over government, electricity coverage was 60.5 as of 2009. We moved it from 60.5 all the way to 83.24, which is an addition of almost 22.74 increment in terms of the expansion that we had done in electricity. The MPP comes to government, and within the last 7 years, into our 8 years, they have added 5.6, moving us to 88%. How do you say that a government that took electricity from 60.5% and moved it by adding an additional 22.74, in terms of, expansion, how do you say that 22.74 is the same as 5.6? How is that possible? How do you say that a government that was met by Dumsor, going to Akosombo Dam, standing there and praying and raising their hands in the air, and a government who was hit by it, who decided that let's do something, gave you car power, gave you a Mary, signed up all these IPPs, finished up, and then gave you, Atuabo gas, gave you 2 new oil fields to support you in being able to get your gas. Apart from that, went ahead to give you ESLA. How do you compare that to a government that has been in power for the last 7 years who had not added a peswa? How? How is that possible? How do you say that a government who had 122 billion in terms of revenue, and then had, in terms of loans, and then had a revenue of 240-something billion thereabout, put the two together, it's less than 400 billion. How do you say that government, with a government that, as we speak, has received revenues to close to about 950 billion and has received loans to close to about 550 billion, running into trillions? How do you compare the two? How is that possible?
We are comparing the two based on the...
So based on what? The fact that there's lights out. So that's
yes,
why I get...
based on the fact that it's not as severe as yours.
I'm coming. Don't worry. No problem.
Yours was more severe.
No problem. No problem. So
this is supposed to be... Okay, let's look at it like this. Even the monies that we are looking at,
right,
they are owing the IPPs, are monies that if Finance Ministry releases, it's money that is there. If Finance Ministry releases, problem is solved.
Is the money there?
It's 203 million.
Is the money there?
Is it not? It's there.
I'm telling you that from August up until this point, 200 million every month, it hasn't gone. Over 1 billion. So what are you expecting?
But the money is there.
Where is the money? They are carrying it, fine. If you say yes, but for us, no. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that for a government that came to meet, that was hit by this problem, who didn't just leave you like that. He said, look, I'll give you certain things to help you. He gave you buffers. Sinking fund, heritage fund, stabilization fund, ESLA. We kept giving you 250 million in some, $370 million in some. What do you expect? What do you want? We came to meet the problem. We said, let's deal with the problem. We solved it. We moved. People struggled. I'm excited we're going to discuss the issue of, the hospitals being
hospitals.
This is
91 hospitals.
This is what I was telling you earlier on.
Rich hospitals.
That listen, whether you like it or not, if COVID had hit us at the time when there was no light, trust me, it would have been messy. You cannot compare the unavailability of electricity to COVID. In any case, during COVID, we had no money. But you have messed up the entirety of the state. We left you a debt to GDP of 56. Today, you're hovering into what? 100 and something and came back a bit down. How do you compare the two? Courage.
I'll show you.
How do you say the two is the same? In any case, you were part of this government. You sat down. Listen to this. Listen to this logic. So, Alan Chairman, you say, you are the MPP. You helped them. They campaigned against us. Yabong, Yenimshe, no problem. NDC for Yajatum, no problem.
It wasn't help, it was part.
No problem.
They were part of it.
Yeah, he helped. He was part of it. They went together. Yes. Yabong, we didn't do anything, no problem. People are going to say, come and take it. You have sat down, Alan, for 7 years, while these people that today you're calling names, these people swindled us 7 years. You sat down and watched in cabinet. You had the mouth to speak. People like Kennedy were speaking. People like Kwame Pinyin were speaking. People were speaking. People were talking from all angles, saying, this is unacceptable. You sat down in cabinet, continued to take salaries for 7 years, while the people of Ghana are struggling. Now you want to come and tell the people of Ghana you want to salvage them? What did you do when they were being siphoned? What did you do? What did you say? And again, you're asking them, courage. I'm asking you, if Alan had won his position as flag bearer, would you be sitting here? Would there be movement? Don't do this kind of things. Like, we are not children. Listen, whether it is an elephant, have you noticed that elephant has this big ears? Whether it is an elephant with a butterfly wing, we're saying it is one family. Look at them. It's one family.
I don't know what.
So don't
Adel is doing this to courage this morning.
No. Let me say it as it is. Listen. Let the people of Ghana listen. Let the people of Ghana hear. If Alan had anything to contribute, trade, Ministry of Trade, common commander, you couldn't even finish it. Trade, commander, You went and Pricewaterhouse did what do you call it, evaluation, brought you evaluation. In less than a year, you saw the kind of depreciation that you saw. You were sitting down with the government. Today, we're talking electricity with the government over 7 years. You say you are in charge of one district, one factory. Listen to this. You're in charge of one district, one factory. So your responsibility is to make sure that the factory is running. How does the factory run without electricity? And then you sit down in cabinet and you didn't have the wisdom to tell your government, as Alan, to tell your government that my ministry, which is trade and industry, would require electricity. You sit down for this government to do 5.6 addition, 5.6 expansion in the various places that you want to put up your factories. 5.6 in 8 years, in 7 years. We did 22.74. How do you compare the two?
Okay, let me, I think Palgrave was actually on the floor before his sound went off, and then I can come to you, Courage. So Palgrave.
Okay.
But Palgrave, Charlie, these hospitals, it worries me. Should we sit down and allow this to happen? Because ECG, we are pleading, but I don't have the money to pay though.
No, Rosie, I think that it worries everyone that some people can use electricity and not pay for it. I've started a campaign that you must pay for what you use. If you are an institution, you are rendering services, people come to you, you charge them money, you must also fulfill your side of the bargain. How is it that a hospital will not pay their utility? Because you are using it. And so at a stage, the state institution, which is the ECG, must be able to crack the whip because they've looked on for a very long time. And
why should you look on till you have to, get to this extent where lives could be lost? Because this is a case where NPP is saying that, under the NDC, lives were lost, blah, blah, blah. Lives can be lost with this as well.
I'm very certain that...
no life will be lost.
No, I mean, obviously, I'm very certain that once ECG has put this communication out, that they would be going to turn off the lights of these hospitals. They would pay some money. You know how it is when you owe electricity and they come to your house.
But they told Parliament. Parliament didn't pay until Parliament went off.
Well, and now Parliament is on. So it means that Parliament has paid some money, which is why they are on back. So I'm certain that these lights would be on when the hospitals pay for it. But you see, for me, you read some messages, and I've seen some of them send me private messages.
Okay.
And you see, the word, when you talk about the word Dumsor and intermittent power outages, look, Rosie, I have just opened Google. When you open Google,
there's Dumsor there.
It's terrible. And Wikipedia, Wikipedia is not one of the best places where you should go for definition of things. But let me just do that for the purposes of this conversation. It says that in Ghana, Dumsor is a persistent, irregular, and unpredictable electric power outage. It is usually caused by power supply shortages. Okay?
Sorry about that.
Now, and then you go back and says, what is the history of Dumsor in Ghana? It says that the word has been used by the general public since 2012 in the expressing anger, fun, mockery, and worry, and disappointment about the authorities and the ruling government of 2012 to 2016. So really, for me, I think that we shouldn't belabor the point. These hospitals that owe these amounts of money go and pay your utility, pay for what you have used. I think that is essentially crucial.
So when we turn off light in tree is what?
When you turn off light in tree,
it's called what?
Why would you turn off light?
No, but if you tell a child go and take kodum kaniano, is that not what we say? So it's doom, right? And when we say turn it on, we say what?
No, but then when you turn on light in your home,
it's called
it's a deliberate act. that you want to either go to bed.
The light off
or
is doom and light on is so.
No, that's a tree translation.
But Dumsor is
no, but as I have
now Dumsor is English.
No, Dumsor cannot be English. But as I have explained from Wikipedia, which is not one of the best places to go for interpretation of things, because you know how Wikipedia came about.
Okay.
Many years ago, it was just a selected few of academicians that were doing researches and putting there. But when it was open onto the media, then it was allowed for everybody to put it there, so you can have. But this one is from 2012. Dumsor from 2012. A definition and an interpretation of that.
I just asked a simple question. The tree name for light, turn off the light.
Maybe Adel can help him.
Well, the English
name,
is
but Rosie,
but this light off is not doom.
No, but Rosie, when you tell your
he's not reading the
when you tell anyone at home to turn off the lights, you're telling them kodumno.
Doom is there.
The kodumno. But you see, you are talking about a national issue. In the national issue, what we experienced from 2012 is Dumsor. Okay. What we are having now is intermittent power outages.
Okay.
And really, you see, let's look at it. What happened in 2012 was a national thing. It was doom everywhere.
But this one is not everywhere. The people from the north are complaining.
No, this is not nationwide.
No,
Rosie, 16 regions.
Palgrave, this I beg to differ, because
16 regions.
Yesterday we
16 regions.
Yes, yesterday we had so many people. Even the message that came in today.
I don't think.
There's 16, a lady. Was it a lady Hajia who sent in a message saying that even the overload, are they telling us that these transformers are in the northern part of Ghana because they are experiencing it as well? So it is across the board. Yes, it is.
I don't think it's across board.
Maybe you don't think so, but it is so.
No, it's some. You need to do a survey. You need to do a survey to be sure that it is really a cut across. But I think that it is some. It's not an across board.
Okay, courage.
Thank you, Roselyn. Let me start off from intermittent. It's a very simple word. Nobody in this country has experienced a period where we would say that power outage is permanent. What it means is that the entire nation will be in darkness throughout. So whether it is from 2012 to 2016, or what we are currently experiencing, it is intermittent. That's why the coined word...
So why did you people go and coin it as Dumsor?
No, that's why the coined word for it did not say Dumkra, but Dumsor. Because they recognize that at some point, it comes back on.
Okay.
It goes off and comes back on. This voodoo definition that my brother is trying to give us this morning, it's surprising. It cannot be one thing yesterday and it is another thing today. A situation occurs. A word is coined to describe it. If that same situation occurs tomorrow, it is what it is. There's no magic about it. There's nothing different about it, And you just have to admit. And you see, this power management situation, when my brother was speaking, he was talking about inherited. The NDC did not come to power in 2012. From 2009 all the way to 2012, after elections, power was stable. So that was what they inherited, So if you create a problem and now solve or attempt to solve the problem, you don't come and tell us that we should clap for you for creating a problem that you say you have solved.
Who created the problem?
It was the NDC.
They created which problem?
The Dumsor or intermittent power outage.
The NDC that created
they created it.
So what happened under
Just like today.
Let me ask you this. Under President Kufuor, what was it then? Because we experienced, at that time, I was 10 years old, but I was in the university.
Yeah.
And we experienced, that is when we had the load shedding. And you had the, what is it called? The itinerary. So you know that today I'm off 6 p.m. Palgrave?
Yeah.
6 p.m.
Yes,
we don't have lights.
We were in the university.
Yes, but I was 10 years when you were actually old.
Yes.
And, so we knew that Block A will go off at 6 p.m.
And then
come back at 6 a.m. So you go and charge your phone here. Block B will come. It was there. So that is not Dumsor?
Okay. What you have seen over the years, and that was not even the first time. Was it 92, thereabout or so? and long before.
Even in the 60s.
So there's always been this perennial challenge. What leadership is expected to do is to solve it, all right? So during President Kufuor's time, there was some occurrence of it, all right? Some attempt was made at solving it. It brought some level of stability. Power changed hands. For the first 4 years of that power changing hands, that stability was on. For refusing or failing to do the obvious, all right, we found ourselves back in it. You were still in power. You said, okay, it's a generational capacity problem, you want to solve it. Even that deal, the kind of contracts that were signed, we've not even gone into that. Okay. Then you now say that having sat down for 4 years for a problem to reoccur, we should praise you. Certainly not. You needed to have the foresight to deal with it. Okay, your second tenure, you took virtually the entire 4 years, the entire period to deal with it, blah, blah, you went out of power. Today, one who took over from you also finds himself
in the same soup.
6 years down the line, 7 years down the line, in the same soup. Do you get it? So whether it is from NDC to MPP or MPP to NDC, he's saying that nothing changes. In terms of the substance of it, nothing changes. And for me, that is the worrying fact about all of this development. And so you say, oh, and we solved it. We added this much capacity, blah, 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 at what cost? If we do comparison globally, was that the best deal possible? The unfortunate thing is that
Was it the best?
It wasn't. It wasn't. The rates and everything was above standard, you know. And so, of course, we're going to then have challenges going into the future because even paying for it, you sign a deal that says that take or pay. For example, that once the energy is generated, whether it is used or not, the government should pay for it. Do you understand? At a point when we're saying that we have excess capacity, and a host of all of that. When you shift the responsibility from the producer all the way, you're creating financial problems. Obviously, we are there. We have very varying issues to deal with. We have heavy debt that the government is having to pay. And whether it is the NDC still in power, or the NPP in power now, or the movement for change that will be in power, you have to deal with that problem. But dealing with that problem is because someone created it under the guise of solving a problem. Is that the optimum capacity that we have as a people in terms of governance and leadership? I do not think that is what it is. And whenever there's this constant refrain, you know, you are part of the NPP, you are part of the NPP. If Adel sitting here, all right, came and said that because I'm a young man, the principles and ideals that I believe in, I cannot find it represented in John Mahama. And the John Mahama record is there for all, we are aware. It's not for me to now come and even rehash it. Is it corruption? It's there. Do you understand? Is he saying that we should take him on and throw jabs at him simply because he has made a principled decision to say that I find A, B, C, and D here, and it is at variance with what I expected, even as a young man. I mean, we all had infatuations and love for things that, with the benefit of hindsight, no. It wasn't what it was presented to be, or it does not reflect that. Yes, Honorable Achimati was part of the government. In fact, he was part of the founding of the party and has always contributed his quota. What I want to invite him to do is to interrogate his personal capacity, responsibility, and output.
That is more important.
No, as a man in public service.
Okay.
And as to whether a fraction of a percentage, all right, the minutest form of what is seen and has been seen with someone like President Mahama can even be spoken of in respect of the personality of Alan Kyerematen. Not at all. And it is this whole party thing where we bury ourselves in a party, I mean, as though our umbilical cords are tied to it, as though it is the thing that gives us life, you know, and refuse to change. So that he has refused, no matter how bad the NDC is, with all the corruption and everything that we know it represents, he's refused to simply move away and chart a new course. That certainly is not a part of development. It is not a part of progress. And so when an individual who was part of the founding of a party is bold enough to say that, you know what, this is not what we founded. What we founded has transmogrified into a beast. a beast that will consume itself, and for that matter, I'm moving away to still keep on to that ideal, the least you can do as a young man is to applaud him.
Let me ask you this. I think this question
aspersions on him
is a question that a lot of people have asked, and we are happy to have you on board so you can answer the question. Honorable Alan Kojo-Kyerematen had the opportunity to have withdrawn from the party probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, because this certain government has been in power for the past 7 years. And obviously, as a former trade and industry minister, he saw all the gaps that he claims to have seen. Mm-hmm. Why did he go? Why did he wait till he ended up in an election that he turned third? And he was not happy with the treatment of some of his people, and hence it made him leave. Did he leave because he's not happy with the ideologies and the principles of the party, or he was not happy that he turned third during the Superdelegates Conference?
I remember what he said on the 25th of September at Movenpick when the movement was launched. He said, this is not the party that we founded in 1992. Of course, he was there. The ideals of the party, and I've always maintained, there's been a complete departure. When you are part of multimedia today, hosting Joy Prime, all right? As part of them, you make every attempt to make it work. If you see certain departures that you think, though, your programming interest and everything, there's a departure or there's some attempt to depart from it. The first thing is not to say, I'm walking out. Your first thing is to try and fix it. If you realize that the problem is at the leadership level, you try and get into leadership so you deal with it. Until it becomes obvious that even the common thread, all right, of rule of law, allowing simple processes and procedures to apply so that you can get into leadership to deal with the problem that you've identified will not be adhered to. At that point, every individual is at liberty to make a decision for progress. And that was what he did. So yes, we can all sit there and say, oh, he should have done at this time or at that point, at that point. He went to the ministry with a plan. If there's a reason why today, in the State of the Nation address, the president can speak to about 170,000 jobs that have been created due to one district, one factory, and all. It is because Alan Kyerematen was in that ministry. It is because Alan Kyerematen sat down, wrote that policy proposal, contributed it to the manifesto, and when power was won, for 2 years, Roselyn, a lot of people don't know this, for 2 years, one district, one factory was moved to the presidency.
Really?
Not under trade, for 2 years. In those 2 years, nothing significant happened. It was brought back to trade, and it is in the 4 years.
Which year was this?
This was 2018.
Okay. So
2019.
So from 2018,
from the beginning, 2017, when we came to power and all of that, the one district, one factory secretariat was moved to the presidency.
So 2017.
2018.
To 2017, 2018. It was at the
presidency.
So, and it came to
It came trade. Back to trade, I think, around last quarter 2018, thereabout.
Okay.
Before. So it is within the 4 years that it came back. That it came back to him that he oversaw, as at 5th January when he resigned, 2023, 294 projects initiated, 126 of which were complete and operational, which at the time had created 160,000 jobs, 24,000 of which are direct jobs. You know, that is what we are talking about.
Okay.
Let me speak to Commander. And whenever Commander comes up...
Just the last 5 minutes.
Whenever Commander comes up, it's quite emotional for me. Why? A lot of people think that Commander Sugar Factory, as you have it today, was in Nkrumah Factory. It is not true. Even the locations are totally different. All right? So, for political reasons, NDC decides that we want to put up a factory. Now, sugar, you have various varieties of sugar. And so a lot of the factories are fitted to particular varieties because of the differences. You had a machinery, right, which is suited for sugar that grows in the north. You put that machinery at the coast in Commander, no problem. You proceed to now carry sugarcane from the north, 6 months to election, to the place, and then do some tests, and they say, oh, you've completed it. But to do that, you went for $35 million loan. $35 million. Say you are building a factory. You put up the factory. 6 months down the line, all right, factory is down. valuation is done by, I think, PwC, private auditing firm. And they said the value of this factory could not be 35 million. And that was at the point minister said, let's get investors into it. Investors come and they say, no, this is not 35. Private valuation says it is at best 16 million. Push it at 15 million. The difference is that there is some gap of about $20 million. Where did that money go? The NDC has not answered for that up to today. And then the NPP has not taken them on for the loss of that money up to today. You now come and say that, why didn't Alan make the factory work? How could that be Alan's problem?
But he was the Minister of Trade.
So what he did was to now float this and at that cost, try and get a private investor who is handling the factory as we speak.
Okay.
But you come out and they say, he didn't make money, he couldn't let Commander work. How could he have made Commander work when $20 million of that money you spent and Palgrave is sitting here has to explain to us as to why the Attorney General has not put people back, at least before the courts, for that $20 million loss. Right. So how is he culpable? He cannot be, and the difference remains clear. But
when they put you in charge of something, the reason why you put there is to fix the problem.
But that's what he did, and got an investor there. But see, the fact that there's an investor who has taken up the factory and is working, they've even that test run of brown sugar and all of that, does not mean that $20 million should be allowed to be lost. And that's why I'm saying they should explain, and he should explain why they've not taken them to court for causing $20 million financial loss for that project alone.
Why did he push for it when he was in power?
Of course, he sent all the documents.
He should have pushed.
But
he was the Minister of Trade and Finance.
But he's not the Attorney General.
He had the opportunity to push.
But he's not the Attorney General.
He doesn't have to be the Attorney General. You discovered the gap. You just push it.
Of course, so push it to the desk that has responsibility to act on it. That's what you do. So the audit report, everything is with them.
It's with them. And did he push?
But what else should he do? He cannot harangue the Attorney General and force the Attorney General to go to court. It's only the President who can do that.
But he can push.
But he as Minister cannot. But so at best, he does what he can. And he
what you have to do is to let people know the gaps in there. If I take a position and you tell me that you have handed over a certain amount of money to me, and I realize that I have lost 20 million. I know that if I go out of power, you will come and hold me responsible for losing that 20 million. So what do? I make sure I expose whoever lost that 20 million. And so I will push for it. But you don't push for it. You tell me that you go and dump a paper on somebody's table expecting the person to react.
Roselyn, if an audit report establishes facts of a situation commissioned by a minister, and the minister says this is the outcome of the audit, right? And then that minister forwards you to the appropriate office responsible for acting on it. I don't think we can blame that minister. Okay. The trade minister does not prosecute.
All right, let's continue. We have some messages coming in. I'll come back to you. I'll definitely come to you.
Roselyn, have a comment.
Roselyn, enough is enough. It's time for this MPP, guys, to be honest with Ghanaians. If it's not Dumsor, then what it is. They should come out with timetable to stop frustrating Ghanaians from Sarah. Sarah, we have timetable. This is 7 to 11. Or you are experiencing more Dumsor.
Very rough.
Okay. Oh, birthday. Oh, but we'll do the birthday. Okay, anyway, let me just... happy birthday to an amazing Phoebe Edinam. Your presence fills our lives with joy, laughter, and love. May this year bring you endless happiness and incredible moments. Cheers to another year of wonderful memories. You're beautiful. If I open it big, I have to go up there to close it. So... let me see. Okay, that's you. Beautiful.
But you have to open it.
If I open it, I have to come up.
There are some here who are still single, so they...
Who is single?
Who is single?
Nobody's single. I don't have 2 wives.
Who is single?
Good morning, Madam Amidrisu from the ECG to disconnect 91 hospitals. Oh my goodness. So people can't fall sick in peace in this country again. Where did Amagana go wrong? God save us from these clueless and empty and about their administration. Good morning to my beautiful Roselyn. The recent power outages isn't because the government of Ghana is owing independent power producers as a result, or anything that might be a hindrance as the biggest threat to Ghana's economy. But at least there becomes challenges about power outages being experienced sometimes in countries globally, which are not so serious and able to be resolved within the shortest time. And that is what is going to happen. There's no Dumsor, and there won't be Dumsor under the watch of Akufo-Addo administration. Abdul Aziz Jibani, Joy TV, neighbor, Kokomlemle. Oh, neighbor. Rosie Palgrave Pa. Hey, no wonder he attended the Bible college to become Reverend Minister. Oh, please. This is not like he's defending. Rosie, did you watch? Okay, let me go to the next comment though. Good morning, Roselyn. Some parts of Tamale never have Dumsor as compared 2012 to 2016, where we have Dumsor at all the time. If NDC are criticizing MPP for this, then they shouldn't think of bringing the JM back. All right. Blueprint right from Sikado Ketan. A change in 2024 will set Ghana back at least another 8 years, and to a president who failed to deliver when they faced none of the challenges the MPP faced over 8 years, uncertainty is certainly not worth voting. In fact, the alternative is scary and empty. Greetings to Honourable Charles Bisu, the incoming MP for Sikado Kenton. Good morning. Good morning, Roselyn. The MPP government should credit Ghanaians with some sort of respect. They should accept their responsibility and fix the Dumsor like Muhammad did and stop peddling lies. The coined word Dumsor applied only yesterday and not today. These hypocrisy must stop. Ghanaians are fed up with the incompetent government. And never again, Nanaka Karite Chiman. Hey, birthday, another birthday. In fact, they say people are born to save lives. Indeed, you are one of them, my special midwife. May God continue to give you that patience you have always had for your clients. Happy birthday to you, Agnes, who work at Koforidua Regional Hospital from your crash. Hey! Okay, let me see if we can see her picture well. Hey! Aww. Your crash. You're beautiful. Why would you get back over I hope you are not part of the 91 hospital. So, auntie, if you are part of it, then Ubedi will light off. Good morning, Roselyn. All they do instead of fixing the problem is to complain about the previous government. MPP must go. Need from Cape Coast North. All right. Thank you so much. Today I've done well. I've read a lot of the messages. Oh, my dear pa. Anyway, yes. So, Adel, you wanted to say something. We are wrapping up. We
are wrapping up.
Yes.
Roselyn, listen. Says that the NDC got involved in take or pay and blah, blah, blah. It is unacceptable. You cancel, right? AXA, when they came to power, they extended it with take or pay. Why? It's a simple question. Why do you extend it? There is no company in this world that will produce electricity for you, come and set up the plant, produce electricity for you and tell you that when they produce, even if you don't buy, it should become their cost. No, none. Then, you brought it, you signed it recently. Is it not take or pay? These kind of jokes, stop it. It doesn't help anyone. I'm coming. Then he says, oh, there's a problem. You have to solve it. It is, this one is intermittent. And then he read it for you, the definition. It says irregular. Intermittent is irregular. In the document that he read, the Wikipedia, it is written there in bracket. It was in bracket, Dumsor on and off. He skipped that one. He didn't read it. Dumsor, it was inside the bracket. Dumsor, Chi language, they wrote Dum off, so on. And then they gave the English translation. He didn't read down, he skipped that one.
Because Google is English.
Oh, I'm coming.
It's not tree.
I'm coming, no problem. I'm just saying. I'm saying that in the definition that you were reading, you came back to talk about, and it said,
it's
I'm
English,
coming.
not tree.
In what he read, and then he came to tell you irregular. What is intermittent? Intermittent is irregular. Consistency. The whole of last 2 weeks, Kaswa has been experiencing out from the Opekuma area all the way through the Kaswa area, has been experiencing. In fact, last 2 days, the lights went off 10 a.m. in the morning, came back, I heard they said around 6 p.m., went off, 6 p.m., 2 hours, it went back off, came around 1 a.m., came back on around 4 a.m. What is that? Intermittence. Again. He says, oh, the issue of, capacity, and it wasn't about capacity, but what was AXA for? What is Ameri for? Why have you not thrown it away? Why did you, okay, no problem. You say it is not a capacity problem. So from President Kufuor's time all the way through, we don't have any capacity problem. Then you came and then you extended AXA. Why? Because AXA is supposed to generate. It is supposed to generate. Ameri is supposed to generate. The IPPs are supposed to generate. What are they generating? Electricity. If they are not generating electricity, you're going to have problems. The reason why today you're having the issues you're having is that some of them are not even working. So, bottom line, whether you like it or not, there is an issue of capacity. Then you say, oh, you know, the NDC sat down and they were slow. No problem. We take it wholeheartedly. If President Kufuor had left us Esla, had left us 2 oil fields, had left us Ameri and Car Power, and then aside that had given us something called Atuabo gas, that would give you problem because you see, that will solve the problems for you. Because you see, the truth of the matter is that in electricity, these are the things you need. You need to solve the issue of capacity because you want to expand. That was why we did a 22% expansion. You know, you want to expand. 2, you will need fuel to power your plants, whether you like it or not. 3, you will need funding, you know, to be able to pay for diesel, for the other things that you need to solve, and then to also to pay for your legacy debt, a debt that the NDC didn't come to meet. But we gave you a solution. Okay. Kufuor met the same situation. He didn't leave that situation. Then my final comment on Alan Shemantin, listen, he says PwC, Pricewaterhouse, did the evaluation on Commander. Did you know that in November 2016, the same Pricewaterhouse, the same Pricewaterhouse, you see this, but they are very cunning. 2016, Pricewaterhouse did the first evaluation and gave the figure of 35 million. The same company, listen, the same company. Then they come to power because they wanted to sell it. Only God knows. So at the time when they came to power in 2017, we started questioning, how is it that the same company, Pricewaterhouse, can do evaluation and tell us it is 35 million, and in less than 6 months, come back and say the value now is 60 million? How is that? On what basis did they give us the 35 in the first place? But that was because they wanted to sell it. So when they did that, and then people started shouting, hey, and then they said, oh, private. Now you're saying private. They are bringing a private company to come and take it over. Private company need to, today, from the time they came to power, 7 years, has still not been able to take it over.
All right. Thank you so much, Adel.
Why won't you arrest? You say, so Alan Shemantin just presented a report, and that is the end of it. How will you succeed? Okay. How will you succeed in getting things done if you say that somebody has stolen 20 million and you're selling down, you and him, who is useless?
Thank you very much. Palgrave, you want to quickly?
Yes, well, Rosie,
just under 1 minute, because I'm being told that we should end before 8. So
no, Rosie, it's not a problem. I mean, we have 10 more minutes for 8 to end.
No, I have just 1 minute. I'm supposed to have finished at 7:50.
So 30 seconds.
Oh,
yes.
Gosh. Rosie, when we were
30.
See, our viewers have been calling on the 3 for a while.
30.
Well, I think that it's important to state to your viewing public that the lights are being worked on. It's important to state to your viewing public that the timetable that they saw request for, I'm very certain that the ECG will bring it out. And also to state that the transformers are being fixed. And so this is not Dumsor. This is
intermittent power outages.
Sure. And then, Rosie, I sent a birthday request to your producer.
It will be done. No, it will be done. We have a segment for birthdays.
It's my sister, so...
Oh, wow. Yes, that's nice. Please, wish her a happy birthday. Don't worry. Yes.
Oh, your sister?
Yes, my sister, yes.
Yeah.
Sister, one mother, one father.
We come from the same hometown.
Don't mind that.
Denta, I wish you a happy 41st birthday. No, Denta.
Oh, okay, okay.
Denta, she's a member of the British Empire.
Oh, right.
She does the Guba Awards.
Okay.
But I'm sure you do it in your grand style.
Right.
She wants to hear your voice. So.
We'll do it. We have actually a special birthday segment, so it'll be done. Courage?
Roselyn, I think the proverbial classroom situation where someone is made class prefect, he gets an E at the end of the term. The class collectively says, no. Our leader cannot be getting such a failed grade. So it changes to a new person. The person gets an F. And the one who had an E says that, I'm better than him. At least I got an E, so bring me back. When there has constantly been an A student in the class, that's the John Mahama, Alhaj Baumia, Alan Shemantin.
Jesus Christ. Who's the A?
Clearly.
Alan Shemantin is the A.
Jesus Christ.
So clearly,
Alan is the A.
The choice before...
You see how they are suffering? Do you see how they are suffering?
The choice before the
Rosie,
people.
we should have this to ourselves.
An EF student and an A student.
How is the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party?
That's all we have for you. For news flag segment.
How is that?
My guests have been Adel, Umar, Ibrahim, who represented the NDC, and we had Courage Nobi, who represented the Movement for Change, and Palgrave Boakye-Danquah, who represented the NPP. Anyway,
compared to the
This
GTP
weekend, we are going to the Eastern region to go enjoy ourselves. It's all about the Eastern Cup. It's fully booked. So if you didn't book, I'm sorry. You can't be a part of it. So we are going to have some fun this weekend. And so, free... for what you paid for, you are getting transportation, you are getting a camp, you are getting to experience, beautiful places, tourist sites and all of that. You go to Safari Valley, you experience the Eco Park as well. And so take a look at what you experience when you go for this camp that's happening in Eastern. And also, I want you to know that we have a lot of conversations coming up very soon. We have What's Trending, and then we have birthdays, and I think Palgrave cannot wait for birthdays. And today, we'll have a one-on-one conversation with Prophet Nigel Casey. He'll be right here in the studio. So do send your questions, and we'll ask you all the questions.